to HitPoint, the JRPG news show, anime news show, a niche news show, a show where Baku and I will talk about everything and anything that catches our interest and or ire. Today is April 1st, 2024, but today we will not be joking around. It's very serious business the whole way through. I say that half joking. we actually, I remembered a couple years ago, Baku. I remember you and I did an April Fool's episode, and it was terrible. So we're not doing that again. So instead, we'll be previewing trailers, talking about rumors, and we'll be talking to the super chats at the end of the show. Yeah, we broadcast live every single. This joke is wearing out. Every single Monday at 6 p.m. Central. Nope. 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Man, I am tired, guys. I have hyped myself up full of coffee though, and I've got I've done a shot of espresso. I've got my dew going here. I'm gonna make it through today. Last night, the dogs got into the garbage and they made no fewer than 4 emergency bathroom trips in the night.
Oh no.
Not even like all at once. It was like 4, like an hour in between each trip, basically. So I've had such terrible sleep, but that's all right. That was their April Fool's joke on me. And let me tell you, my day has not gotten a whole heck of a lot better. But I will say, I don't know if I'm feeling pretty good anyway. I'm feeling like I'm waking up. I feel like maybe my seasonal affected disorder, whatever. What did they call that? The SAD syndrome, the seasonal affected, whatever. I feel like I've had a weight lifted from my shoulders, and I'm feeling a little bit more positive lately. But I don't know.
Okay.
How about you, Baku? How you feeling?
Great. Now that 2 of my 4 classes are done, because they're half semester long, I finally have time to come back to like the streaming world and actually start streaming and completing games. And I recently finished Unicorn Overlord, and man, that game blew me away in too many ways. That game is phenomenal, and I think you would actually really enjoy it, Mr. Derek.
Really?
You know how like we always talk about these strategy games, and you're like, oh, but does it like kind of take place over like the overworld? And I'm like, no, sorry, there's an overworld, but then you go into like a stage instance, and you're like, oh. This game, the battlefield is the open world. So it sounded like, I'm like, this is what Mr. Derek was asking for. Like, do you have like the battles over the overworld? And this time I can tell you, yes, as a matter of fact, they do fight in the open world.
Okay.
And maybe. I mean, beside the fact that the game is just gorgeous, the music's amazing, the story is there, but not the focal point. The strategy, I can geek out all day over how they implemented the different things, all the little issues about strategy game that they have overcome, how it respects your time. Every stage is like 10 to 15 minutes, other than like,
only 10 to 15 minutes per stage?
Oh yeah. Sometimes I there's one stage I finished in 5 seconds.
Bro, if it doesn't take an hour to complete a scenario, is it even a strategy RPG?
Oh, it absolutely is, because it's not the stage that has most of the strategy. The battle is fought before you even enter.
Is it all like about your formations and stuff?
Your team makeup and your formation. You can spend so much time doing that. But the actual battle is quite quick for the most part. Except for like some of the important story battles will take a little longer. I think the last battle for me took an hour, but that was because that was the last battle.
Yeah.
So
well, that's not bad. I mean, turn-based RPGs, final bosses take that long. So, you know what? I feel like I should mention. So a couple of weeks ago, this we haven't done an episode of HitPoint in like 3 weeks. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
So
Well, yeah.
once was because Baku was working some
Mm.
overtime and I felt very bad for him. The other time, last time was my bad, and I just wanted to take the heat here real quick for you.
Ups,
Let everybody
man,
know
happens.
I completely dropped the ball last week because I was just like I'd gone to a funeral on Monday morning, and it's just like, and I ended up having the whole day off for bereavement, and the whole day was just this weird like in between day where nothing felt quite right, and it didn't feel like a Monday, it didn't feel like a Sunday. So 7 o'clock rolls around, and then like it's like that moment in like Dragon Ball Z where like someone detects a crazy power level out of nowhere off in the distance, and they're like, you hear that like weird sound effect. That's what happened. And I looked at the clock, and it was 7 o'clock, and I see a couple of missed messages from Baku, and I say, "Oh
He literally said that.
yes."
That was his response.
So
I was
that
like,
was
do
my
you want to
B.
take a break?
That was my B. But anyways, let's go ahead and actually move on with the meat and potatoes of today's show.
Yes.
We have a lot to talk about. We actually have some comments from last week that we should probably kick things off with. Starting with, well, did I say last week? I mean, comments from 3 weeks ago. We should kick
Yes. Comments from 3 weeks ago. 3 whole weeks ago.
I mean, remember back when March was just beginning and you left this comment, Justin can't Zach? They said the Nintendo 64 Paper Mario is on the expansion pack for Nintendo Switch. I've been playing through it again on Switch, and I'm really hype about the Thousand Year Door. Or expansion pack for the Nintendo Switch Online. I had to scroll over to see the rest of the message. But so I kept getting confused about like, is this the GameCube one? Is this the Nintendo 64 one? Makes sense that the Nintendo 64 version would be on that NSO. So thank you so much for that clarification.
Thank you.
Because for whatever reason, they even back in the day when they first came out, they were graphically so similar that I feel like even though I played them both, even immediately following that, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, except for I think the Nintendo 64 had a little bit more of that smear effect on it, because that's just on everything that the 64 had. That really like low level anti-aliasing on it. But yeah.
Man, I have never played the game, but I'm really looking forward to like the remaster so that I have like an excuse to play it.
You've
just
never
like
played.
just like
That's right.
yeah,
You
just
remembered
like
it. Mhm.
yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say it's just like the Super Mario RPG, like same deal. Never played it, but now that it's like all redone and stuff, I have a really good excuse to try to hop on and see what the hype's about.
I was gonna say your excuses are diminishing, but also I feel like I gotta say, I have some pretty huge gaping holes in my backlog too, so I can't judge.
I think we all do. It's just not possible to play all this.
No kidding.
Anyways, next comment we've got from Freddie Can, who says, I still have 115 days left to finish Reverie. When I plan to finally finish right after I finish FF7 R2, which is Rebirth. Until now, Reverie took me 211 hours with my ultra slow style playing of Trails game. Disclaimer: everyone else is faster than me. Listen, Freddie. Well, you have less than 115 days now.
I know. I feel that weighing over me as well. Because I did the math, and last I saw, 115 minus 3 weeks is less than 100.
Yikes! Yeah.
If I start playing just a couple hours a day, I can make it.
Unicorn Overlord, man, I'm telling you.
Oh my
I sunk
God.
80 hours in, and I didn't even know that I sunk 80 hours. Actually, more than 80 hours. I didn't even notice.
I didn't even feel the 150 plus that I put into Cold Steel 4. Like,
Jeez.
it's wild.
That's when you know.
I'm a little afraid of Reverie, actually.
I think that's when you know. You're like, yeah, did you enjoy the game? maybe.
I mean, I nearly 100%ed it, and it
Mhm.
was, and I was not even goaded into it. It's just one of those things. Like I gotta.
It
Anyways,
just happened.
it just happened. The game just played itself. I had no real choice in the matter. We also got this message here from Kelts7789 who says, I have found some success with having a JRPG and then point and click as well as puzzles side by side. I am currently going through Persona 3 Reload and Professor Layton Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Definitely helps. Talking about the method of backlog defeat,
Yeah.
backlog completion.
Yeah, playing an RPG and then like a completely different genre of game, like it definitely helps. It's kind of like a
Oh,
palate cleanser slash like just mixing things up. Absolutely.
oh yeah.
Not counting mini games.
Most recently, my addiction when I was playing through Trails of Cold Steel 4, I've been
Mhm.
playing a lot of Puyo Pop in between.
Pull your butt, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Nice,
for a very
nice.
specific reason. Cold Steel 3 and 4 have this mini game called Pom Pom Party.
Okay.
Or I think it's just, is it just 4? There's also the Crossbell games also have it, but it's basically a simplified Puyo clone, and
Oh.
I really suck at it, or at least I did. So I was like,
Oh, you got
you
some
know,
practice.
I was grinding, outside of the game.
Wow.
Yeah, that was dedication. I was
That's
actually honing
dedication.
my skills. It didn't actually pay off though, I don't think. Because it's still at the end of the day there was some very different skills involved, but
Mhm.
at least now I enjoy Puyo Pop, so that's cool.
Oh, nice. Well, you got a newfound hobby, man. It's
Yeah,
always nice.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
Now I do have a voicemail for us to listen to as well. And
Ooh, voicemail.
if you, yes, you listening at home would like to leave us a voicemail, you have a couple of options. You can call us at 785-337-3805. And if you do, we'll play it on the air just like we're about to do for this one. Or if you're, overseas and don't feel like calling a US number, I get it. You can also just mail us a voice file to hitpoint at superderekrpgs.com. Don't stress about, nailing the first take or anything, because I'll help you out in post. And here is our voicemail this week.
Hey, Super Derek and Bakasan. Toolman here. We're seeing so many spiritual successors coming recently. Item Chronicles for Suikoden, Iron Fantasia for Wild Arms, Penny Blood for Shadow Hearts, Tears of Magic for Breath of Fire, Gaio Shomans of Harder for Skies of Arcadia, just to name a few. What are your thoughts on all these spiritual successors being made? Are you happy about it? Or does it just deepen your frustration over all these great IPs just sitting dormant? What games that have lain dormant would you like to see spiritual successors for? Thanks, guys.
It's a really interesting question there, Tool Man. So I'll let Baku stew on this for a moment while I
Okay.
take a crack at my thoughts on all of the wealth of spiritual successors we've been seeing lately. It doesn't make me mad. It doesn't upset me. I think that I'm generally pretty happy about it, especially when they are spiritual successors that involve the original creators. I think though there are some spiritual successors that or self-proclaimed spiritual successors that involve a completely different team, and that's cool too. But I feel like at a certain point, um, I don't know. I feel like it's less when it's for instance, and not to, because he mentioned Tears of Magic, which
hmm
is a indie RPG was kickstarted and they're in development right now. It looks incredible. The art looks really great, but it obviously has none of the original Capcom staff involved. I believe it's mostly just people based in the U.S., but I could be mistaken about that. I would consider that less of a spiritual successor and more of like a inspired by sort of title. And I love that. I think that everybody who just has so much love for these older systems, these older games, if they can be inspired to put that much time and effort into creating something, that is awesome.
hmm Yeah.
But I guess that there are some titles that kind of blur that line a little bit, because like Sea of Stars, I don't know if I'd say that's a spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger. Probably not, but it really gets close enough that it feels like it straddles that line. I don't know, but anyways, at any rate, it doesn't make me upset that people are just sitting on these IPs, because that's just a fact of life at this point. I'm so over it. Like the fact that we're never gonna get a proper Chrono Trigger 2, as far as I'm concerned. Speaking of which, I'll throw my hat in for that. That would be a game I would love to see. I mean, I guess Sea of Stars kind of scratches that itch, but whatever. Give me more. That's the one
Sea
I'll
of
throw my
Star
hat
2.
in
Wouldn't it be funny if Sea of Star gets a spiritual successor of Sea of Star?
That would be pretty
You're
sick.
not getting a Sea of Star 2, but you're going to get something else.
Well, I mean, they kind of did that for The Messenger, because like The Messenger was Sabotage's first title, and then they did Sea of Stars, which is not a spiritual successor, but it is kind of like a
It's a
same universe sort of title, but completely different timeline or something. I don't know. But
yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, combat wise, it's very similar, but from like a storytelling perspective, it's very different.
Yeah.
So I think that, yeah,
I've come to realize that when it comes to like sequel prequels, like there's just no like hard rule that I can follow that would say, like, you can definitely tell when there are two games that are just not even remotely the same. But what if they're in the same universe but different name? Or how about if they follow the same numbering convention but they're in different worlds? Like, are they sequels? Are they not sequels? Like FF7, FF8, are they sequels? Like,
I mean,
but it's in the same series, right? So
I mean, yeah, you got also all of the Final Fantasies that take place within this
whatever that world is.
Yeah,
I
12.
cannot remember. Yeah, Ivis.
You know which one I'm Evilise. That's the one.
Evilise, yes.
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 Thank you.
Okay. So yeah. So I guess to answer the question, my simple answer would be no. Like, it doesn't bother me the slightest. Slightly more complicated answer would be there's always a trade-off. Always a trade-off. You always have a group of people who said, say, for example, Chrono Trigger is like the best game ever. I would love to see a second game. So you're going to have to spend money in developing that. The development's not free, obviously. It takes resource and time. And then you have another group of people who say, I don't really care about Chrono Trigger. I want you all to give me a new IP. You guys are not innovating. You're just dwelling in the past. Like, give me some new stuff. Like,
I feel like
try
nobody's
new
asking
things.
that of Squaresoft anymore. or Square Enix.
I think
then
Square
again-
Enix was well-meaning, but it's just they're lacking some fundamentals. But that's a different conversation for a different day. But obviously you'll have people who want to see innovation, want to see new things. Like, how many times are you gonna rehash Persona 5? Like, how many times? Like, I've heard Persona fans getting annoyed with like all the Persona 5 games. Like, just give us Persona 6 already, right? So that's a new game. Yeah. So but maybe what the true groups are not seeing eye to eye on is, how are companies spending time and resources? Do you want a new of an old title? Do you want a brand new title? Do you want a remaster? Do you want a remake? They all consume the same pool of talent and money and time.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, and you can't have it all, right? And not unless you want them to just all suck, because if you want something done well, you have to make some trade-offs, right? So you can't do all of it. What are you going to do?
I'm a big dummy, and I just realized that I picked the wrong game. Spiritual
You picked the wrong game?
I need a spiritual successor for Terra Enigma right now.
Terra Enigma?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
Isn't there one in the making, though? I mean, and about spiritual successor, like, there are two kinds of spiritual successor, I think. There's the self-proclaimed spiritual successor, and then there's one that, like,
Has,
the
like, the
developers
original
never
developers.
said anything about it.
Yeah.
No, the one where the developers never said anything about it, but everyone just pins them as the, spiritual successor.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I
And
got
the
that.
two are very different. Anyways,
One is somebody who wears their inspirations on their sleeve, and the other who is, I mean, I guess in some ways You could be
Yeah.
falsely pinned. Like
Mhm.
if you draw inspiration, sure, but you draw inspiration from lots of places, but people are like, that's the one. You're a spiritual successor to this, and you're like, well, okay,
Like Stellar Blade, like everyone
yeah,
keeps saying, "Oh, that's just." I mean, I did. I'm like, this is like a
another
near
near.
2.0,
Uh-huh.
yeah. But then the developers, they never go like, "Oh, we're a near like spiritual successor." It's like no, like they never say anything, but they kept getting compared to it. So what do
Yeah.
you make of that, right? I don't know. But I love the way the Sea of Star looks. I cannot wait to get my hard copy, which by the way, the pre-order is still available, guys. Which I had pre-ordered. And I didn't know this, but you can actually pre-order from Amazon if you want to avoid some shipping fees if you have Amazon Prime already. Just saying. Just a little Baku tip there.
Mm. All right.
Yeah.
Well, bottom line though,
Mhm.
I'm very glad whenever I see more games being made by these people who are making the spiritual successors, because like sometimes it's the only way for them to get done.
Yep.
Eiyuden Chronicle is, I think, about as textbook as it gets. Like I'm so glad that
Yes.
they were able to do this, right?
Yeah. And then
And
Konami's like, oh, we have a remaster coming, guys.
yes, it can have cascading effects down the
Hmm.
line when people
Yeah.
see the hype and the success that surrounds it. Um,
Yeah.
I just hope that we get to see something like that for Terradigma, Breath of Fire, all of the above. Like,
Well, speaking of Breath of Fire, we do have a game that's very similar in feel to it. So we'll talk
yeah.
about that later.
All right, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah, there's that. There's that.
all
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and move us along here to. Um, Unfortunately, we've got some delays to talk
Oh
about. Do you want
no, yes.
to take this
The
one?
bearer of bad news. Don't shoot the messenger, guys. Okay, but we were coming really close to the slated release date of March 31st for this game called The Legend of Contraria, and so we went to double check to see if this game was going to make it on release date because a lot of times these smaller development they change release date, and because they're pretty small there's not a whole lot of like noise about it.
Fanfare.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so we have to like really dig it out to see if like they had changed the date or not. So not only has this game been delayed until fourth quarter of this year, no exact date, it is also completely changed its name from The Legend of Contraria to Horizon Force Von Nemir, which I'm just like, what? I think I took a good hour. I took a good hour, maybe, just searching the internet and being like, are these two games the same game? Like, I see it's the same developer, but there's like no single article that went like, oh yeah, the Legend of Contraria changed its name to Horizon Force Vonamir. Like, they're all just like individual articles about the individual games until
Yeah.
one of them finally go, oh, by the way, yes, I can confirm they have changed their name. So yeah, there you go. Legend of Contraria, which is a HD 2D action RPG by I think a studio is called Yoyan. It is now changed its name to Horizon Force Vonamir and also changed its release date to Q4 of this year. So there you go. That's the delay. We will keep track and see what else, what other news they have.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Baku. And let's move along to the updates for some previous releases that we've been getting here. Starting with this one from Swordsman Studio, who you may know from the likes of Wandering Sword. They are going to be updating or releasing an update called Southern Chronicles. The Southern Chronicles for Wandering Sword. This is a free update that will include a new side storyline, a new difficulty mode, or rather new difficulty modes, as well as the option for New Game Plus. The update is immediately available on all supported platforms, which is
Yes.
pretty wild. That's
Yeah.
pretty sick.
Thumbs up for whenever developers give free updates.
I am a fan of free.
Yes, I'm also a fan of free. Rather than charging a DLC. The answer. Looking at you, Atlas.
Well, yeah.
Some shades coming from me here. But yeah, you can take a look at the trailer if you
Oh,
want.
that's right. We have a trailer for this. I am so out
Yes.
of practice, guys. All right, let's check this out. And right now.
Cool music.
Yeah.
It's got that nice like classical Chinese fare to this like to the orchestra music. This is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got that, you know, kind of reminds me of. You remember back in the '90s, where, or was it like mid to early 2000s, mid aughts, like a lot of wuxia movies were getting like really, really big here in the West. Like there was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. There was Hero, and several others. They made a big splash, especially in the wake of Crouching Tiger. Anyways, music just gives me those nostalgia waves from that time in my life when I consumed a lot of those movies.
So there's this instrument, right? And I don't know what the name of it is in English, but it's very similar to the Japanese koto. Like it must would be like the same instrument. I'm sure like music nerds would be like, no, they're not the same. In the form and in how you play it, they're very similar. It's like a guitar versus a bass guitar. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
there are differences. But
Is it the one with
they're
like the
extremely
giant pick?
similar? No, it's like almost like a table. It's like a string instrument.
Oh,
But it's
that-
almost like a
yeah.
that's the
Okay.
koto, right? So I mean that originated from China, and some of that string sound that you heard in that music just now, it's from that instrument. It's very distinctive. So that's what adds that little like Chinese, like ancient Chinese flair to it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not a musical person, but it's just I just happen to know my people's history, so it's what it is. Anyways, yes. We can move on to speaking of Sea of Stars. Are you ready to listen to some news about Sea of Stars? And this is
my body
really
is ready.
cool. Your body's ready. This is so freaking cool, by the way. Sabotage Studio, the creators of the critically acclaimed RPG Sea of Stars, just announced plans to make the game even better. How? By adding a 3-player local co-op mode. Did you hear that?
Three
Three players,
local co-op.
local co-op mode.
How does
Now-
that work?
So here's the thing. Information for this single player plus is what they're calling it. Mode is still pretty scarce. Like they haven't exactly said how it would work or when this would be released, but this is not April Fool's. Okay. Like I wrote this docket last week. Okay. They announced it way before. So no, not April Fool's. This is real. And they just haven't shared how it worked, but I think this is really cool news for people who likes to like couch co-op, you know, like from like back in the days, like Secret and Mana style. So I can't wait to see like how this actually works, and I'm sure I have every faith that they would do something really cool with this. Yeah.
The thing is, like, it's a turn-based RPG, and let me tell you, as long as you're okay with passing around a controller, every turn-based RPG has 3-player local co-op.
Well, okay, so within the map, like the 3 characters can run around like separately. So yeah, so it's not like just the battle. Like
Okay.
you can, so but at least that's what they showed us in the trailer.
Oh god,
but
please let it not be like Secret of Mana, where like if you're at the edge of the screen, it just like stops. You get like
drags
stuck.
you. I need to see how it works too, but man, it's really cool. It's really cool. So yeah, I mean I saw the trailer, but it's like a 5-second thing on Twitter, so we're not like really showing it. Once they have more like a full-fledged thing, we'll be sure to bring it up again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we have some other interesting announcements, improvements for previously released games. So Square Enix have announced that they will be releasing update 1.10 to Star Ocean, the second story R, that will add a ton of features and content for free,
For free?
including a new chaos level difficulty that is harder than the universal level. The 10 wise men are added as new raid enemies. A new system called Assault Action is also added, and new equipment, NPC illustrations, and more. And
Yeah.
we have a trailer for this one also, so let's check
Quite
it.
a substantial update.
I mean, considering how this one really took the community by storm for a while,
Yeah.
I'm very glad to see
I still haven't played this
follow-up
game.
here. Me neither.
I have the game. It's sitting on my. It's just sitting back there, like staring at me. Like, when are you gonna play this?
Yeah, I need to play it. I've heard such good things, but I think that my issue is, decision overload. It's really also very difficult to justify going back and replaying a game that I've completed within recent memory. Like, am I gonna review the game after like 4 years? I don't know.
Well, your perspective would be, what's the difference? Like, what's the delta between what you remember versus this? I guess.
Yeah, and I don't think it requires a full playthrough in order to get that, right?
So you're kind of like in the middle, like neither here nor there kind of deal.
Yeah, like I'm torn between like extreme curiosity, but also like, dude, I'm still sitting on a review of a game I finished like a month ago. By the way, it's coming. I've been editing my Cold Steel 4 video. It's coming along really nice.
I don't envy you, man. I don't envy you in these game reviews.
I know it
It's
is
a labor of love.
It kind of is, because even when I make the videos, they kind of like underperform compared to everything else.
What?
I know.
There's so much work put into it.
That's kind of like the unwritten rule of YouTube. Like, the more work you put into a video, the less people want to watch it.
Fast content, like fast fashion, man.
Kinda, yeah.
It's like that.
I mean, a little bit of inside baseball here, but you know how YouTube's search function is completely broken these days? Yeah, the videos that used to just like slowly collect maybe 100 views every month or so, they get nothing because you can't find anything on YouTube. YouTube has moved away from like being a search engine to just being a content feed. And
yeah, I tried looking for videos where I even know what keyword I wanted to look for, and I still couldn't find it. Like, what the hell? Like,
yeah. So basically, a video, there's no such thing as evergreen content anymore. It's all about just continuing the mill of creating new things, because YouTube's going to shove it out to a bunch of people, and then they're going to pretend it doesn't exist anymore. That game looks sick, though.
Yeah, it really does. It's telling me I need to play it. I mean, now that I finished Unicorn Overlord, maybe I'll play it.
Your excuses for not playing it are dwindling even further than they were.
Well, I was
played
debating.
the original?
Yes, a long time ago. Long time in the original. But well, okay. So my decision is: do I stream or do I not stream? Because Unicorn Overlord I didn't stream. I just like play through it myself. I'm like, I don't know what it is about like strategy games. I just don't like streaming it. I did end up streaming like one stream, but like not the entire playthrough.
I feel like
I didn't even stream the ending.
Something about strategy games, I imagine, and I could be mistaken, but I feel like something about it would lend itself to backseat gaming a lot.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you could do this, you could do that. Did you know you can do this? Like, shut
because
up.
It's exactly because it's such a methodic and such a it's like you said, it has a lot to do with like setup, right? Whereas when you're like in an action RPG and you're just reacting to what's actually happening from like moment to moment, the moment somebody says, "Hey, you should use this move," like the moment is gone by like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever, I don't care.
Or like it's already
gone.
Yeah, it's been
irrelevant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's so I think that anyways, this is an action RPG, so maybe you should stream it, and since you have some history with it, it'd be I'd say it's probably stream worthy if you're interested in that sort of thing. But
in that case, I might play Celceta off stream. It's gonna upset some East fans, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know this.
As long as you play Trails on stream, I think East fans will
skip Trails altogether. Altogether. I bought them just so I won't play them. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Well, So we've got some. Well, I would say that they're upcoming releases, but they're kind of not anymore.
I just want to blitz through some of these just to
Okay.
be like, hey, by the way, these things happen.
Okay.
And there are two in particular that I thought are important to mention because of one reason or another. So the ones that don't necessarily need a lot of introduction. Princess Peach Showtime came out on March 22nd. So, I thought it was a really cool looking game. I hope that it does well. The Legend of Legacy HD remaster, which Mr. Derek had created a video on. So if you guys haven't checked that out, you guys totally should. And since Mr. Derek already has a full video on it, all the more reason not to waste more time talking about it here. Dragon's Dogma 2, of course, also came out on March 22nd. They all came out March 22nd. I don't know what is it about March 22nd, but
Is it like
Dragon's
the end of
Dogma
a quarter?
2, I don't know, man, but Dragon's Dogma 2 came out, and obviously a lot of great reviews on this game. People absolutely loving Dragon's Dogma 2. Capcom is just kicking butt left and right.
I'm so glad to hear it because I
yeah.
honestly I've been living under a rock the last couple of weeks and I had no idea that it even came out nor that it got good reviews. So that's awesome.
I don't know if Capcom has come out with like a bad game in recent memory that were like just really tanking. Like Resident Evil kicks butt. I think the last game that got a lot of flack from the fans is like Street Fighter 5 because of the net code and stuff. But Street Fighter 6 completely fixed all that. Great first person campaign. Everything was good. People loved it. Resident Evil 4, people love that. Dragon's Dogma 2, people love that. Monster Hunter, people love that. I don't know, man. I feel like Capcom is doing quite well, let's just say.
Yeah. Man,
yeah.
if only they had a little bit of extra fundage to throw around for, other RPG titles that seem to do really well with them these days. Surprising, just saying.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute, I'm sure. But let's continue on. Rise of Ronin also came out on March 22nd. This one, a little bit of mixed reviews. Some people are like absolutely loving it. Some people are like kind of eh. I don't know. If you guys have played any of these games, let us know how you feel about them. I would love to hear what you think about these games. So there are two games that we sort of like want to give a little bit of a spotlight on. And the first one I'll take because I'm such a fan. This game we've talked a little bit about is from the indie developer KU under the Holo Indie label. And now it's coming to be called Holo Break, which I still would like to pronounce the X in the middle. But apparently it's not Holo X Break. Whatever, I'm going to call it Holo X Break.
How about Holo Cross Break?
Holo Cross Break, exactly. Holo Kai Break, if you ask Nomura, is Holo Kai Break.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did talk a little about this before, but now there's an official release date and trailer, and the release date was actually March 29th, a couple of days ago. Let's take a look at the trailer real quick, because I think the original complaint with the teaser trailers there's no gameplay. Well, this one has gameplay, so now you can see what the gameplay looks like. All
right, here's the trailer here for us.
For an indie game, I just feel like this is so well made. I had to share it, and also it's free. Did I mention that this game is free?
I seem to recall saying somewhat recently that I like free. And
yes.
My stance on the subject has not changed in the moments since.
In the last couple of minutes.
The intervening moments have not changed my perspective of free content.
It's free. This is a free game. So this is a...
this looks kind of Game Boy-ish.
What is it called? They even got the voice actors, the characters' voice actor to voice act this game. So for a fan-made indie game, that's pretty cool that you get like the actual people to do some voice acting for you.
Now you say it's like because it is an indie, but this also does have the involvement of like the HoloLive people or Is it HoloLive? HoloLive? What is it?
HoloLive. Okay, yeah, that is correct. Yeah. So
this is the one we talked about
voicing
thrice weeks ago. We talked about that kind of interesting approach to having content developed for you, like kind of almost licensing the content out to indies. So this is sick.
I would much rather see this than like, and I kind of want to bring this up because I wanted to talk more about like tie-in content because that's sort of like on the opposite spectrum, right? But let's see this. Wait, what do you call these kind of game again? Like it's not hack and slash. It's
like a beat 'em up.
Beat 'em up. Thank you. I was just like trying so hard to be like, what do you call this?
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of beat 'em ups, and I will say this also vaguely reminds me somewhat, and a lot of people will probably know what I'm talking about. It's this old school animation that was uploaded to YouTube. It was like grayscale. It was by an artist named it was Paul Robertson, who went on to be the pixel artist for Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, and I think he might have also done the new TMNT. I'm not sure about that, but he had this like 20-minute pixel art beat 'em up that he did that was like black and white, super gruesome, called Pirate Cabana Baby Brawl or something like that. And it's the most, if you're into the old school beat 'em ups, this was like the most like self-reaffirming like video that I had ever watched that just made me so incredibly hyped. So I'm so happy to see you become like a really successful pixel artist in the actual industry these days. But go watch it if you haven't had a chance. It's like that we just watched, but like way more gory, but also in black and white.
A little less cute and a little less colorful.
No. It's 100% as cute though. That's the other half.
Oh, it's 100% as cute.
It's like chibi giant heads.
Oh, okay.
Cute, and then like people like hitting people in the head with like baseball bats, and then the head explodes in like a gout of blood. So it's like,
oh my god,
it's incredible. It's wonderful. You should watch it.
Feels like the 90s.
yeah, total. Well, it's probably a little further than what you would see in like gross out humor, but oh yeah. So, anyways, this game, Hololive, is not like that. It looks cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool, and it's free. Now, I will add a note to it that they were going to release this game with online multiplayer and also local co-op. However, they're not able to get the online multiplayer to work. There's just a lot more things that's involved, like what is it called? Like net codes and stuff. So it's a lot of complexity, and I think people will give them a break, seeing as they are like a fan game and it's free. So whenever they're ready to release the online multiplayer, I'm sure they'll do well. But for now, it is only co-op, local co-op, up to 4 players. Looks really good. So yeah, give it a shot. It's free. Like, what are you gonna lose?
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I also just threw a link in the chat to that old 2006 video.
2006?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was so good. So good. But I'll go ahead and move us along to our next game that we are going to cover. It's called Terra Memoria. And based on the little bit of the trailer I already see, this could be pretty good. Hey, fluffy dogs, pay attention. The cozy turn-based RPG Terra Memoria will be coming out this week, and it comes with a new trailer. The story follows 6 characters on their journey through the world of Terra as they investigate the sudden awakening of ancient robots. Let's check out this trailer right here. Look at that. Look at that.
Man. Speaking of spiritual successors, this is one of those where, like, I don't think they've ever claimed to be like Breath of Fire, but like,
it's self-evident.
It's just so hard not to look at this and not think of it.
Yeah, I gotta say, I saw this a little while ago, and this has me so hyped. So I'm very happy to see this again.
It looks like there's like a pairing system. Like when I'm seeing 2 characters standing on a pole in like the time waiting thing. Yeah. One of them's an active character, so it's probably like a backup character.
It looks like they have summons. I don't see any dragon transformations yet.
There's 6 characters, so 3 teams of 2 sounds about right.
Oh man. Okay. Let's I kind of want to watch that again.
Go ahead.
All right. Let's roll it again. Here, let's Terra Memoria, blah blah blah. There we go. Watch it again. Look at that. Oh. It looks like they all have like enemies of a certain type. Like those were a couple of like steel-looking enemies. I wonder. Part of me has like in the back of my mind thinking there's gonna be some like type affinity stuff, elemental, triangle
I
strategy.
I hope so. I hope it's
know.
gonna get some like pretty
There's like
involved gameplay.
Is that an ice type character in the back or a crystal?
Oh, those a steel type right there. Oh.
But there was that one that looked like it was made of crystals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cool. Definitely some like electricity. Yeah. Also, is that like a Ninetales kind of deal? Is this
That is a 30 leg. Did you see the legs?
No,
Oh, you didn't see the legs.
I didn't.
It is a monster with many, many legs.
Okay.
I'm not sure how it walks.
So based on like the music inspirations, it sounded a little, I don't know, it sounded pretty cool.
Yes,
Maybe-
absolutely.
Maybe it's gonna be based on some like mythologies, maybe not.
Maybe.
Terra
But yeah,
Memoria. So
it's super cool.
yeah, it's coming out on PlayStation 5, the Xbox consoles, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam. I don't know if we're gonna get a physical, but
I don't know. Well, I can look into that while we move into something else. We can always come back. I can take a quick look.
all right, yeah, that'd be pretty
Yes.
sick. All right.
Yes. Okay, let's move on to new game announcements. There were quite a few new games that got announced that we wanted to bring to your attention, starting with this new game from publisher Ankama and developer Blue Banshee, who just announced a new turn-based RPG called Maliki Poison of the Past, which is based on the French comic series of the same name, which is kind of cool that this is a French comic tie-in. In this game, the player will follow Maliki and her family and join in on the battle against Poison, a plant creature that has colonized space-time.
What?
I don't know, but it sounds epic. So let's take a look. I think
Alright,
it'll
yeah.
make sense once we see it.
Yeah, let's check it.
How does
So
one
when it said-
colonize space-time?
I mean, how?
Yeah, look at that. Things are glitching.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is a style. I saw this game and I was like, wow, this game looks so good.
So when I heard you say like French comic, I was like, oh, like asterisk or asterix or what is it? Yeah. Yuck.
Yeah, it's that kind of comic. So
All right.
it's got
kind of Scott Pilgrim-y.
yes. I was gonna say the art looks a little bit like Saga Frontier, like PlayStation 1 kind of art. Like the 3D, the 3D.
Yeah. I
Which
see.
I
The theme
quite
of this
like.
trailer is the duality of man. Oh,
You get to chop trees.
so it's like animal.
I'm guessing that's Maliki, like the girl in the middle just now. I think it's really cute. I love everything about this so far.
I
Yeah, like
do
these
dig
kind
it.
of
Oh,
set
wow.
boss fights. Yeah, look at that.
That
It's so insane.
is cool.
It's a timeline. There are combos. Like what?
Okay. I'm here for it. Oh, poor sheepy.
It's funny, but it's also got this like cool element. It's a pretty good mix, I thought. So yeah, I got pretty stoked when I saw this. I'm like, all right, we gotta share this today. We gotta share this. What do you think?
I'm thinking this looks pretty good.
Yeah, I know, right?
Poison of the Past.
Poison
Oh,
of
man.
the Past. Yeah. So please check that out. Also, I'm not seeing physical copy for Terra Memoria. Maybe they'll come out with one later, kind of like Sea of Stars. Like some company will pick up their physical publishing, and then we'll get that. But yeah, at least not right now. There doesn't not seem to be any physical publishing for Terra Memoria. Sorry, that was from the previous game. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Terra Memoria, no physical as far as we know yet.
Yeah, sorry, I was just looking through.
Hey,
But
no
anyways, not to steal Maliki's thunder, and I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. There might be like a French way to pronounce it.
Maliki.
Totally mispronouncing it. But yeah, there's no release date on it. It is currently being developed for Switch and PC via Steam. So, you can wish list it. I did on Steam because it just looks so cool. I can't wait to see more of this.
All right. Well, we've got another game here from Studio Inti Creates. They've announced that they're working on a new card battling RPG called Card-en-Ciel. The game will follow Neon, a gaming detective who will adventure through 10 different dungeons to build his deck and battle different enemies. The game will support 2-player mode versus mode. So we've got a trailer for it as well, so we may as well check it out. I wonder.
Man, Indie Create's just coming to all these games lately, man. Like I feel like I'm hearing about them.
Battling RPG experience. Enemy search and destroy mission. I'm gonna split you in half. Explore the digital landscape.
So like this is like Mega Man
Battle Network, right?
Yeah, Battle Network, yeah.
Yep. That immediately came to mind as well.
I'm just like, Indie Create, are you just trying to eat up the entire Mega Man franchise at this point? Like, are they gonna do like a Mega Man Legend in a different series?
These guys also did like Gunvolt, right?
Azure, yes.
Yeah.
They're trying to eat Capcom's lunch, man. You better watch out, Indie Create. Yeah. So I think people who really like Battle Network, maybe check this out. This is like a very similar kind of game.
Man, maybe they should make a game that's kind of like another of Capcom's famous RPG series.
No, they're only doing Mega Man sub franchises, please.
All right.
Sorry, no, I hate to pop your bubble there.
I don't think you do. I don't think you do at all.
No, I quite enjoyed it. Oh right, yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So as far as release dates go for this game, we don't really have one yet. It's currently though being developed for all modern platforms, which I assume to mean not Nintendo Switch.
No, also including Switch. Unfortunately, they're still modern as far as everyone is concerned.
All right, fine.
Unfortunately,
it's pretty sick though that modern games can come out on retro consoles like that.
I know, right? Speaking of modern game coming out on retro console, Success Corporation just announced that their 3D shoot 'em up Rainbow Cotton will be made available digitally for the first time in the West. Rainbow Cotton was originally launched on Dreamcast back in January of 2000, so it's like 20 plus years ago. Holy crap. This new iteration of the game is actually a remake. It's gonna come with a bunch of quality of life features and a 2 players local co-op mode, so it's pretty cool. And the fact that this game is actually coming out on Switch just made it all the funnier that you were talking about. I actually accidentally gave Mr. Derek
I think I found a good trailer.
Actually no, it's right here.
I just added it.
That's done. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and pull up Rainbow Cotton.
Yes. They're going to lecture us about what a remake is. Actually, no, this not in this one, but yeah. But this one will show you what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
There's a longer trailer that I had. Yeah.
Oh, you had a longer trailer.
I had a longer trailer, but don't worry. I think this perfectly tells you what this game is about. Yeah.
Okay.
So like it does have that like Dreamcast kind of like vibe. I don't know if
kind
y'all
of Panzer
remember.
Dragoon.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely got that.
it's interesting to see this type of game making sort of a comeback in 2024. I'm super
Yeah.
excited. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Different kind of nostalgia for different kind of folks who kind of grew up playing these kind of games. So this one is coming out on May 9th of this year on PS4, 5, Xbox One, Switch. Yeah, it's coming out on Switch and PC via Steam. So check it out.
Alrighty. Well, we've got another title here that I'd like to talk about from developer 14 Hours Productions. Is bringing us a new game. A new Game Boy styled digital pet RPG adventure game called Yolk Heroes: A Long Tamago, which, that one cracks me up a little bit.
Dude, Derek, it's like these people like watch our show, knows what you like, and decide to make a game.
They're like, we're gonna chock this one full of yolks just to scramble Baku's brain.
Well, take a look at the game and then tell me you don't like it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you. I gotta get through this other sentence real quick. In this game, you are a guardian spirit asked by the fairy queen to raise a hero from an egg to battle the Dark Lord.
The Dark Lord.
The Dark Lord. All right.
Yes.
Yolk Heroes, kind of like Folk Heroes, but different. Let's check it out.
Yes, that's probably exactly the stupid pun that they were going for.
Oh wait, no. Oh, it's a baby in an egg.
Yeah, you gotta raise the baby.
Oh.
Yeah, and they grow.
Oh my god,
and then
that
you have
looks exactly like the character art from that thing that I linked before. Like the giant head, okay. This is cool.
And then there's the Game Boy, like the old school Game Boy, not color, but
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like when you put a Game Boy game into a Game Boy Color. You got that that simplified palette.
They're like all 7 colors.
Oh, 4.
Oh,
depends on the palette.
Yes.
That looks so cool.
I was like, I think Derek would play this. Like, just as a side game that you would play. This looks like something you would. Even the cover art looks like
straight out of Dragon Quest.
Yes.
I mean, let's look at this again here real quick. Not the whole trailer, but just the art here. Tell me that's not Toriyama inspired there. Even the Yolk Heroes is definitely a Dragon Quest homage here.
Yeah.
With the kind of 3D kind of coming at you on both ends. That's pretty dang slick. And also a long Tamago. I mean, not to egg them on, but I mean, they can keep on going if they want to with these.
For anyone who is not aware, Tamago means egg in Japanese. So yes, it's a multilingual, multi-meaning pun.
There are layers here going on.
There are layers here. Yeah,
they
really
a shell,
thought about this.
And then the egg white, and then the center yolk at the center of it all. Okay.
Okay, Derek.
So it's coming out on the 30th of the month here. It's coming out on PC via Steam and via itch.io. It's also coming to iOS and Android.
Yeah. For people who can only game on Android and iOS, like, take a look at this one. This could be something fun for you. All right. Next up, we've got a new game that, well, we've talked about this a while ago. It is a turn-based roguelike strategy game called Anomaly Collapse, and it's just got a launch date and a new trailer. So just as a refresher, this game features what is being called a one-dimensional tactical battlefield, which makes sense when you see it, where a player will battle against mysterious mutants that are threatening the safety of the world. Let's take a look.
Okay, this is actually it is not ringing any bells.
No,
it's maybe been a minute. All right, let's check this out. Ada. All right, what do we got here? Oh, what? Okay, this does look a little familiar. That character art, though, I like that.
Yeah, so it's one-dimensional. So like multi-dimensional would be like, you have a grid, right? But you just move in a single line.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not
That's why they call it like one-dimensional.
Yeah,
low-level personnel
I
assets.
see.
The mercenary is equipped with a substantial stock of arrows.
They have simplified
Because you wouldn't want to call it
some
linear.
things.
That would probably give people the wrong impression.
Yeah.
Given the uncertain
I think it might be cool. They simplify some things, but made it more demanding in other ways.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So don't underestimate how hard this can be. It could still be very difficult and very complex gameplay. They've just chosen to focus on a certain, dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Need more dimensions? Stop it. So this game is coming actually quite soon. It's within the next 2 weeks. It's April the 12th and only on PC via Steam.
All right.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to this next one, Mr. Derek.
You'd be surprised, but so am I. Team Gris. I hope I said that right. Gris. I don't know.
Gris, I have no idea.
Giving us more news on their upcoming installment of Corpse Party 2, Darkness Distortion. This new game follows 3 high school friends who are exploring a haunted hospital to test a local urban legend for that sweet streamer content. Ooh, Baku, do you know of any urban legends that we can start testing?
I mean, I can tell you about them, but I won't be there with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't.
Well-
I don't care for clout that much.
I mean, they will. I mean, it's not the clout that I care about, man. It's
It's the content,
views.
man. It's the views.
no. Okay. They will come to regret this decision as they discover that Ayame's Mercy's curse is very much real, and they will now need to find a way to escape the hospital and the vengeful spirits within. We got a trailer for this as well. And I can't wait to take a look because I actually like Corpse Party, the original. At least when I played it on PSP a while ago.
Invited to a brand new course party.
And it looks
Hospital
like
for terrible past.
And I think that the most promising aspect about this so far is that at no point do the developers seem to indicate that you can...
Oh, it's 3D.
Oh!
It pre-ordered today.
Cool. I'm probably not going to pre-order that. I'm definitely not going to pre-order that. Don't pre-order. But
I will wait to see if it's good first.
But what I was going to say, though, is that probably the most promising aspect of this is at no point does it seem to imply that you can romance Sachiko in this one. So that's great.
Oh,
that's great.
No.
Steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's slated for a fall of 2024 release on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam. It comes in standard and limited edition for physical copies. Hey, physical. Available for pre-order now at the Xseed store.
Yes.
Do not, however, mistake this game for the title Corpse Party 2 that is already out and available called Corpse Party 2 Dead Patient. While the two games have many similarities, they don't actually appear to be related. For now.
Yeah, that's right. I did want to elaborate a little bit on this one because I wrote that. And the thing about this is very confusing because they've released a game called Corpse Party 2 Dead Patient some time ago. And by some time ago, I mean like close to a decade ago at this point.
Yeah.
And that game leaves you with a cliffhanger. That game is not complete, and it still isn't, right? Leaves you with a cliffhanger, and now they're coming with another game, basically called Corpse Party 2, Darkness Distortion, which you would think that would connect to Dead Patient.
But maybe they're just retconning and being like, yeah, that one doesn't exist.
Well, okay, so there's a lot of weird things. Like, first, they're both in the hospital setting.
Yeah.
Okay. They're both Corpse Party 2. Okay. They both feature a prominent character named Ayame, right? Whereas Dead Patient, the main character's name is Ayame. This one has the Ayame's Mercy's curse, but the Ayame in this game, in question, has a completely different last name. So you're just like, okay, is this like just like years and years later and she got married, changed her last name, but it's still just Ayame? I don't know. And then and the hospital also has a very similar name, so they might be connected. They might not be connected. I don't know right now, but I would be reluctant to say that they are. They have similarities, but
Unconfirmed.
unconfirmed. Yeah. So just make sure that you're aware that there is another game out already called Course Party 2, which
But
is
this is the real one.
terrible game.
Is it?
Dead Patient is terrible. Oh my god, it's not complete. It's a hot mess of a game.
Oh.
I'm hoping that this is much better because they've taken so much time away. They're doing this brand new thing. Like I would be very disappointed if after all these years they come back just to release more garbage, right?
All right.
So
you
we'll
heard
see.
it here. Do not pre-order this.
I honestly wouldn't pre-order those. I love Course Party, the original. But yeah, Course Party 2 has left me not wanting to pre-order anything from them.
Yeah.
They need to prove themselves to me again before I
and the other,
you know.
I was going to say the other aspect of this, you said it's been like about a decade.
Mhm.
That could mean that this is the result of like 10 years of development hell.
Oh god.
I mean, this could be the Duke Nukem Forever of Corpse Party.
Oh no.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Let's hope for the best.
Dead Patient is already Duke Nukem Forever. This would be Duke Nukem Forever too. Like, I don't know. Like, well, let's hope not. They've got a couple of publishers willing to take their project on, so fingers crossed that they have done some quality tests and be like, you know what, we will publish your game. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
All right. Oh, this last one here has got me super excited. So this one also from Inti Creates, as we mentioned, the creator of Azure Striker Gunvolt. They've also announced that they'll be releasing a brand new 2D action RPG, not RPG, action game that pays homage to 90s fantasy robot anime. And the game is called Divine Dynamo Flamfrit. I think that's what it's pronounced. Let's take a look at the trailer and then we can talk a little bit more about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's. Divine Dynamo. That's
Divine Dynamo, yeah.
Special announcement.
Again with the special announcement.
Encounter maze-like dungeons and legions of enemies.
Oh, dude.
A fantastical
It's even
adventure
got
of
like the
magic and
90s
armor
anime
awaits.
music, like song going. Dude, look at that robot battle.
That's like some Goemon, kind of when you're in Impact. But the character outside reminds me of the character from
Strike them down. Flame Saber.
Live Alive.
Flamfrit.
Flamfrit.
Live Alive.
Coming in the near future.
Doesn't that look really cool?
Yes. 100%. So
100%.
the character on that. Let me go back. Let me rewatch that one more time.
Sure.
Special announcement.
Because it
Special
was a
announcement.
really short trailer here.
Yeah, 38 seconds.
But look at that character. Like, so there's action. Yeah, that's definitely action RPG combat.
Yeah. Dude, I like the robot combat because like these are the kind of like pixel art kind of combat that I see from like Super Nintendo that I've not seen ever since.
Yeah, that 100%
just-
looks like the impact fights from Goemon 64, but like pixel art style.
Yeah.
I think that Mystical Ninja Mystical Ninja Goemon for Super Nintendo might have also had those. I don't remember for sure, but yeah, cool. When does it come out?
That looks probably never because April Fools. That was sorry guys, that was an April Fool's joke from Inti Create, and we had to put something in our show, right? I mean, we had to put something in our show. Happy April Fools, everybody. But okay, there's a real reason why I added that trailer.
Sure.
Aside from the fact that it actually looks really cool.
It looks
does.
good.
Yeah,
Like,
it
nothing
looks
about
really
that
good.
indicates that it's an April Fool's video. Like,
Yeah, I
usually
hate,
they're pretty
I
tongue in
hate
cheek. Like, ho, ho,
the
ho.
fact. I know, I hate the and here's the thing, guys. Okay, like there has been a lot of projects in the past where it started off as an April Fool's joke, but then people liked it so much that they're like, well, okay, if you guys actually like this, yeah, why not? Like, we'll actually make it work. And you know what? Inti Create is actually a company that is very competent in making 2D action games.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's unthinkable that they could do this as a full-fledged game. So if you are interested in it, maybe go to the trailer and be like, dude, I wish this is real. What's going on? I mean, I look at the comment section, which by the way, this is the English version. So they're so dedicated to making this April Fool joke. It is a Japanese company that they have a Japanese trailer and also an English trailer to troll Western fans.
I don't get it. What about this is an April Fool's joke? Like, it just looks like a trailer.
I know.
It just looks like a cool game that I want to play, and then you're like,
I know.
Psych.
Unless that is their tactic. They're like, oh, you want what you can't have, huh? Well, okay, I guess we'll make it real. They're totally developing this right now.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a double whammy April Fool, where
Yes.
they're like, haha, April Fool, it's not a April Fool's after all, it's a real game.
They're totally doing marketing research right now.
Yeah.
the cynicism in us, right?
It looks
the cynicism. It's a cynical critic in us.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, it looks it looks really cool. The small like chibi robot just reminds me of this one show that I grew up watching in the 90s called Machine Hero Wataru. So I was just asking Derek in the pre-show if he's ever heard of it. I don't think he's heard of it, but it is a show that I watched. It is like isekai before isekai was cool. It talks about this kid named Wataru who got like whisked away into this like fantastical world, and he has to pilot this this like kind of cheapy looking robot. He has to climb level to level until he hits the top level to defeat the demon lord. And then he gets sent back to like his original world, right? And all the friends that he meets in this journey. That was basically the gist of the show. And that like robot, that proportion of a robot, I'm just like, wow, that just reminds me of like that era of anime.
Yeah.
There was this one other show that had like very similar kind of robot design where it's like this time it's like 3 different main characters with 3 different elements, but I forgot what the show was called. It's not Ray Earth. For anyone who's about to scream Ray Earth, it's not Ray Earth. But it's like very similar. It's also back in the 90s. So this throwback, I'm like, dude, if you make this game, I think this game will sell. So even for people who don't have that nostalgia. So just wanted to throw that out there, that we could make it real if enough of us ask for it, I think. Yeah.
All right. Well,
all right.
It's time for us to switch gears to talk about some of the industry news that is brewing out there. And in an interview with Japanese game publication Automation, the series producer Masaru Oyamada revealed that Chinese tech giant NetEase, their Oka Studios, is behind the development of the game Visions of Mana. Is that right?
That is correct. This is not an April Fool's joke. I kind of wish it was, but it's totally not.
And by the way, I feel like the company name NetEase for whatever reason reminds me of like 1993 like intranet software.
Netscape.
No. Like what's that old one from? It had like the big red V. Oh God,
Red V.
Yeah, on like a white shield with like blue trim. I don't know. There was some intranet software that my school used back in the day that was like, anyways, it reminds me of that. Anyways, so this is notable as the latest attempt in the company's entry into the gaming market. You may also remember some time ago that NetEase headhunted the Like a Dragon creator Toshiro Nagoshi, former Dragon Quest producer Ryotaro Ishimura, and former Dragon Dogma producer Hiroyuki Kobayashi into the fold and have gave them each their own studio.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're a billion-dollar tech giant, uh, who just has money to throw around. They would,
So
yeah.
is NetEase just like the Microsoft of China?
Not quite.
Just buying all the studios? Like, you will be ours now.
Yeah, so this is
You
an
get a
alarming
studio,
trend.
you get a studio,
You get a
everybody gets a studio.
So I guess they're not like Microsoft. They're more like the Oprah Winfrey of tech studio. You get a studio, you get a studio, and you get a studio. Yeah. So this is an alarming trend, and I think this is the spicier bit of industry news that I wanted to bring to people's attention. And that is NetEase actually has a history of buying studios and or headhunting people and then opening just a brand new studio, and they haven't really produced anything per se, other than just to keep that there just in case. It's because they got money to throw around. Like when you're so loaded that you could just like pop up studio left and right, just headhunt these really famous game developers and then just like give them all studios in Japan. Not a cheap endeavor, and they haven't created anything of value. So it's not like, oh yeah, well, we have this business need and we're gonna start cranking up production and start making profit immediately. They haven't made anything. But they kept opening different studios.
So what comes to mind about this is all kinds of concerning in a number of ways. I mean, not just China bad, but also because if NetEase is involved with making Visions of Mana, like, are they a funding source? Does this mean that does this mean that Square Enix is in need of funding for this kind of project? Like, why would Square Enix need the involvement of Chinese money for this? Like, that's the big question in the back of my mind. Like, how badly does this bode for Square Enix? What kind of deal did they have to strike to acquire this funding? Even if Visions of Mana does incredibly well, does this mean then that like they get only half of the profits? Like, what does this mean? Like, we don't know, and we might. I mean, I guess we'll find out maybe at some point after, like, because it's a public company, right?
Yeah.
So
we'll find out from their financial, dealing, financial reportings. We'll find out, but for now,
it's
won't
very
know.
concerning. Yeah,
it absolutely is, and the thing is, like, it is part of a, and I've basically dubbed this techno diplomacy, and I've noticed this trend for a little bit now.
Kind of like Saudi Arabia buying golfing.
Yes, kind of. So,
Sports
for example, do you know what gastro diplomacy is?
Yeah, it's kind of like spreading your culture through spreading your food influences. That's one way that I think we got such a huge presence of like Chinese food here in the West, Chinese food here in the States, because like there was like a very concentrated effort to
Thai food.
Put a very Chinese food as well. Like way a long time ago, there were like I remember that I watched a documentary about it actually. It was, and I'm gonna get all the details wrong, but I know that there was like a standardized menu that was like provided to people who wanted to open sort of Chinese restaurants in the
Thai
West.
food.
Thai food as well.
I think you're mixing Thai food and Chinese restaurants. No, it's Thai food. So
Maybe.
the Thai government actually sponsors this, and there's a lot of different reasons why they want to do it. They can export certain ingredients, so they can increase their like agricultural sale, and also it's just a form of diplomacy, right? But how does it work is that, well, you conjure good feelings when you associate with this country, right? So even though you've never heard of Thailand in your life, but you've certainly eaten Thai food and it was good, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, Thailand good, like absence of anything else that you ever hear about, right?
Yeah.
China is engaging in something similar, which I am calling techno diplomacy, right?
Oh, okay.
TikTok is one of such thing. When Congress, or U.S. Congress, anyways, for all the foreign viewers, U.S. Congress wants to change the ownership of TikTok so in order for them to continue to operate business in the States. That's a recent talk that's gaining a lot of traction in our government. And the immediate backlash from this like content creator sort of community fully backing TikTok as like a platform really demonstrate what happened when you built that goodwill.
Yep.
It's like, here, I don't care what your concerns are. I don't care what this is from. This is a great product. We want to keep it. And they will back it for whatever reason. Now, obviously, I'm not here to debate on the
merits.
whether or not tech part is
Sure.
good or bad, yet the merits, but you can see what happens, right? So what they are basically doing is they will create a bunch of things. They will be good. You will like it. You will know that it's from them. And then once it comes time for debate on their national identity, you already have this halo effect, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these online games, Genshin Impact, same thing. Like, if you dare say anything bad about Genshin Impact and how it funds money for stuff, like, you're immediately met with like, well, I don't even pay, or like whatever. But yeah, but you still support the game, so whatever, right? So again, not trying to get into it, but that is the effect, and you can see the effect already demonstrated. So it's not like I'm just making stuff up. Like, people already back into technology for whatever reason. This is the same deal.
It's also not always nefarious, because
No, yeah.
I mean, one of the things that look at how much we love Japan right now, guys.
Yeah.
From all of the media of theirs that we've been importing over the last several decades, that's another form of diplomacy that we've been enjoying, and
Enemy waifu diplomacy.
exactly.
Yeah, so it's not like unthinkable, but
Not nefarious in and of itself,
not nefarious.
but,
Yeah, it's more like, this is something that we need to be aware of. Like, don't be blindsided by the sudden move, but like, when if they ever decide to turn face and post something, you are not going to be like, oh my God, I did not know that they had all these things planned. No, they're opening like 20 different game studios. They are getting involved. They even have studios in America. It's not even like, they just did it in Japan. No, they have game studios in California that has recently opened this year. They're just launching everywhere. They're trying to take over this pie, right? Just like the Saudi, like buying up sports team, like they're trying to take a part of the pie, but also they want a better national image. Like, don't be crazy to think
part
that
of
this
a
is just
concentrated effort for that.
It's both. It's like, it's money making and it makes us look good. Why wouldn't they do it, right? So yeah, but this is all to say, just keep in mind, this is not someone thought that I brought this up in my Discord and someone thought I meant like, oh, boycott the game. No, of course not. Like, there are other people who work on this that has like nothing to do with anything like nefarious, which simply saying that this is a trend, you should be aware. That's all.
Yep.
It's a little spicy.
Well put.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of trend, and this is kind of lean into like what I wanted to talk about with Holo X Break. Best of Game Team, the developer behind the fan game Idol Showdown, has joined the Hololive indie game label, aptly named Holo Indie, which we kind of saw already in Holo X Break. And they will be publishing their game Idol Showdown in this new brand moving forward. The move will allow developer to work closer with the company for sourced materials and talents. And while this also allows the fan developer to start charging for a profit, whereas before you wouldn't be able to because you're just like a fan game. Like, imagine making a fan game off Chrono Trigger and wanting to charge money and see what happens, right? Yeah. So this Holo Indie branch company will allow indie developers to charge money. So if the indie developers so desire, they can totally make a profit if they wanted to. However, Besto Game is remain committed that they will keep this game free and always will be, end quote. So this is pretty cool because this game has made it into EVO, which is a big fighting game tournament.
It's like the fighting game tournament, right?
Yeah, it is 3D fighting game tournament. So it's made it into Evo, which is pretty cool. And the popularity of the game is kind of growing. And they stand to make a lot of money. But it's pretty cool that they're like, yeah, no, this is still going to be a fan project. We're never going to charge you, period. Like, so I think that's
sick.
pretty cool. Yeah. So we got a slight teaser. We can take a look at it.
Yeah. Let's check that out real quick here.
Yeah. I kind of want to talk about this a little bit again because, like I was saying, this is sort of like the opposite of a tie-in game, right? Where, let's say, for example, you have the One Piece game that came out, right? And it was a little lackluster, which is disappointing because I was really hoping that that game would be really good as a turn-based RPG. There are a couple other games with like anime and manga source material that came out and it was just like not good. Like Square Enix tried to do the DQ
Adventures
Adventure
of
of
Dai.
Die. Yeah. You know, and it was just lackluster. And I was thinking about it and I'm like, well, one of the problem is that when you have these tie-in works, not only do you have to pay the regular development, you also pay the royalty to use the source material. So effectively, you are maybe, let's not say double the cost, but let's say it's like 1.5 times the cost, right? Maybe just 50% going towards like royalty and you're making less money. It's just not good financial incentives for companies to spend a lot of time and resource in their best talent to do. Right, the best talent will be working on their in-house titles that they don't have to pay royalty, right? So and so that's one end of the spectrum, but then you have the other end of the spectrum where it's a fan game, no profit, right? And money was never a driver to begin with. Of course, these people all have day jobs, but they're passionate. Whatever they create, it's like it's got all the in jokes, you know, like it's really fun. It's made by the fan for the fans. And so it's got like all the tie-in qualities that you want without the polish, perhaps, that the tie-in official tie-in games would have. But fan games nowadays, as we saw, has gotten way better than fan games of yesteryear. Like not even just because they're free and I'm like, oh well, it's free, so tamper your expectation. But even if it wasn't free, people would gladly pay money for these games. So what does that leave us? That leaves us with this new paradigm, which is, okay, instead of me asking for a Bandai Namco of the world to make a tie-in game for me, why don't I just lease this out to you so that you can create your passion project, you can charge on it if you so desire, you can work with the source material. I won't make a lot of money, that's fine, if any at all, from your endeavor. But this is great because I get to control your quality. I get to make sure that whatever you're releasing is in line with our company image and in line with the, quality. But at the same time, everyone just basically benefits from this arrangement. So we're seeing this like emerging more in mainstream, and I would be curious to see where this takes us.
I wonder what
there's
this
Toho,
sort of game
huh?
would be called. Because I mean, it's like you said, it's kind of like the opposite direction of a tie-in title. So like, what would we call it even? Because it's definitely not a tie-in. I mean, it does tie in, but it's not. I don't know. It's a.
This is a little bit like the Toho model, because
little
Toho
bit.
kind of popularized this, where like the guy was like, yeah, you can use all my source material as long as you're willing to abide by certain rules, and so as long as you're willing to do that, I'm happy to just let you guys use whatever design, whatever music you want, just go for it, right? And this takes it a little further. So rather than just like, pinky promise you won't do this, there are certain contractual agreements, right? But you are still free to make profit off of this, whereas a pure fan game you would not. So
I was
maybe
gonna
like
say,
fan game plus.
that might work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's an interesting move in the industry, and that's why it's made it into industry news, because I expect to see more of this in the future. So we'll keep an eye out on this new like business model venture and see where it takes us.
All right. Well, we do have one final piece of news that man, I always hate doing these, but I feel like it would be a shame to not mention. So the Tales of series character designer Mutsumi Inonomata had passed away on March 10th, aged 63. Among her many works, she was most famously credited as the character designer in the Bandai Namco Tales of series. She was also involved in no less than 17 works, including Tales of Destiny, Eternia, Rebirth, Tales of Graces, Exilia, and Berseria. Also 63, very young again.
I know.
Just a rash of very young, relatively speaking, really influential and important character designers and artists in the community. It's a loss that we're going to feel for a long time.
Absolutely. And for anyone who does not know Inamada, listen, if you play a Tales game, you've seen their work.
And probably even if you haven't, if you've only seen some of the trailers. If you've been watching this show for a while, you've definitely seen them.
Yeah. Man, Tales of Eternia, man, like that was like one of my favorite as far as like all the like original art and all the character design. Like I really love Tales of Eternia.
Yeah, that was a PlayStation 1 era, right?
That was I guess one era, yeah.
Yeah.
It was sometime called Tales of Destiny 2 in the West, but then there's an actual Tales of Destiny 2 that is not the same as Tales of Destiny 2 in the West. So I am very reluctant to call it Tales of Destiny 2. But some of you might know as Tales of Destiny 2. Yeah.
Gotta love good old 90s localization processes.
Yeah, but yeah, she will be missed. And it's so unfortunate to see an amazing artist, legendary even artist no longer with us. So we wanted to share that news with you all. But on the last piece of news, after this, we do want to talk a little bit about the Summer Game Fest. Thank you, Mr. Derek, for taking on the hard piece of news. I am very uncomfortable with announcing like the cease of folks. So thanks for that.
You bet.
I will pick the easier piece of news to close us off tonight before we move on to our super chats, and that is the Summer Game Fest 2024 showcase. It's set for June 7th, guys. So I can never pronounce his name, but I think it's like
Jeff Keighley.
Jeff Keighley. Okay. Yeah. Why? Okay,
I know.
Jeff Keighley will be back again to host the Summer Game Fest 2024. That is scheduled for June 7th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Do your math where you will be sitting at that moment. You will be able to watch this live on multiple platforms: YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, Steam. Just basically any way that you can interact with the internet, you can probably watch this if you so desire. So we'll be looking forward to seeing what kind of games they pump out this time. Hopefully not a bunch of space shooters again.
Just going to be a bunch of Breath of Fire spiritual successors.
Oh yeah, nothing. That's
my
but
prediction.
Breath of Fire spiritual successors.
Brought to you by Mountain Dew.
But still no Breath of Fire.
All right. Well,
all right.
That brings us to the end of our industry news. We do have some super chats that have rolled in throughout today's show, so I'll go ahead and kick us off here with this one from Still Alive, who asked, did either one of you guys ever play Blue Dragon and also the spiritual sequels Blue Dragon Plus and Awakened Shadow? Says I'm going through.
I feel like you've asked this before.
Says they're going through Akira Toriyama's games right now, and I still haven't played these. Any good? So I played the original Blue Dragon. I bought my first Xbox 360, brand new, just to play Blue Dragon.
Get out! No, you didn't.
I did.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I did not finish it. It was interesting. I think that there's some good in there. I think I maybe got 30, 40 hours in. probably less if I'm being honest with myself. I think that there was something about one of the characters that I did not love. And that just, I think it's those dang like kind of mascot kind of characters.
Oh no.
Whenever games introduce them, I'm just like, this sucks. At least back in the day, I used to take my RPG so seriously that I couldn't have any fun. Otherwise, I wouldn't be having any fun. So I encountered this character who joined my party, and it's like, they seem like kind of a dumb. So I gradually fell out of playing it. But I will say it was fun. The music was weird. The combat music is like, I can hear it already. It's just like screaming like hair metal. I'd probably really love it now.
What?
It's weird. Or maybe not hair metal. That's probably not the right, like stadium metal. I don't know. It's
Okay.
And it just stands out so much. When you're playing it, you're like, what the heck is going on? Anyways, there were subsequent Blue Dragon games for like 3DS or DS or something. I never ended up playing them, so I couldn't comment on those. But I think that Blue Dragon is a solid, from what I remember of it, feels, if and this is again so long ago. This would have been around the time the game came out. What I remember of it, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10.
Wow, that's quite high.
I mean,
It's very generous.
It's average.
Oh, man, Derek and I have very different scales.
I mean,
for this man, 7 is an average.
I mean, so when that's the other thing. I don't give numbers on my reviews because I think it's so arbitrary. So like I'm thinking like I would give it a C, like a grade level.
Okay,
So that's where I'm coming from.
like you pass.
Yeah, it's average. C is average.
We can work with you. There are things we can improve. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. As for me, I have not played any of the Blue Dragon titles, so I hate to disappoint you. But if you're going through Toriyama games, there are a good amount of other games, like all the Dragon Quest games. Not Dragon Quest games, all the Dragon Ball games on Dragon Quest, but also all the Dragon Ball games.
Oh, yeah.
All the many Dragon Ball games. You really want to go through the Toriyama
Super Saiyan Densetsu.
portfolio. I
still
mean, recently, it was like Dragon Fighter Z. Is it Dragon? I think it's
Dragon Ball Z
Fighter?
Fighters, and then there was also Kakarot.
Yeah, the one that Arc System.
Yeah, that was the
had-
Fighters with the
That
Z.
one is superb. It is such a amazing fighting game, and it's super easy to pick up. I even picked it up, and I am terrible at fighting games. Like, I don't get it, but I just mash button. I'm just like throwing all these spirit like kamehamehas and beams everywhere. It's really fun, and the art is gorgeous. So even if you don't play fighting games, maybe dip into it, especially when it goes on like massive discount. You can pick it up for like $5. Yeah, totally worth.
Dude, I really
a
want to
good
play
pickup.
Kakarot. I really want to
Yeah?
play.
Why don't you?
Cause Trails. Gotta play Trails. So
Yes.
but
Well,
that's
we would be remiss if we don't mention Sandland too. So
oh yeah.
just
Looking
yeah.
forward to that. I haven't played the demo. I've heard mixed things about it, but actually I've been living under a rock. I haven't even heard mixed things about it. I've just heard some people say the demo sucks, and some people say the demo is incredible. So, but I don't have any specifics. But I'm interested in playing it for myself to come up with my own opinions.
Absolutely.
All right, then we got a couple messages here from Fluppy Dog, starting with JRPG Hype. Love you both. Thank you very much, Fluppy.
Hey.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Also, they said better chances of getting Breath of Fire 1 through 4 HD remastered collection than a Chrono Trigger 2. Keep the faith.
That is true.
It's facts. Straight up
This is
facts.
true.
I mean, have you
Yeah.
the way that Capcom RPGs have been printing money at this point? They should just be printing these at this point. Like,
I am okay. I'm not
why
even
have they not?
I'm not even kidding at this point. Like, I am genuinely curious as to why they have not done an HD like remaster of Breath of Fire.
It
They even
really boggles the mind.
yeah, like now is the time. Like Grandia is coming out with
Again?
HD for different platforms.
Yeah, for PS5. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there are different rumors about Lunar depending on who you ask. But they all have one thing in common. They're all like these kind of RPGs from like a similar era, and they're all coming at millennial money for a good reason. So I'm just like, now is the time, Capcom. What are you waiting for? Like,
I know.
you about to miss that ship.
And they keep
sir,
teasing us.
like-
They keep
yeah.
teasing us. They keep sending out those
And those
surveys.
surveys.
Yeah. And I keep filling them out, but they keep
Darn surveys.
yeah. Oh, which games should we play? Which game should we remake? And every single time, all I ever say is Breath of Fire. Give me Breath of Fire 1 through 4 now, please. And each time they keep ignoring me. They
Boy.
never return my calls, and I wonder why.
Yeah, I think they might have blocked our numbers.
And I think I saw this one come in a response to you teasing that game that looked like a spiritual successor of Breath of Fire 1 through 4. They said, "Quit playing games with my heart, Baku."
Look, like that game looks gorgeous. Give it a shot. I mean,
Yeah.
even if it ends up turning out not being like Breath of Fire, if it's a good RPG, then it was worth your time.
I know,
You
man.
know?
It looks like it. It looks so good. What was it called again? It was Terra
Memoria.
Terra Memoria. Yes.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. I have it on wish list. I just haven't like pulled the trigger yet because I know I don't have time to play it yet. But as soon as I do, I would.
Big part of me really wants to give it a go, but I also part of me was like, wait for the physical. But like I got that that Senator Palpatine like whispering in the back of my ear to
Yes. I know exactly what you mean, man. Yep.
do it.
Mhm.
All right. So moving on, we got one here from Eagle Knight who says, "Gotta play Trails, but not East." Hashtag fake fan.
Oh, get out of here.
And it got a bunch of likes.
Get out of here. I mean, I liked it, but get out of here.
Oh, geez.
Thank you, Equinite.
All right. And then Still Alive just dropped another one here a moment ago. Said, "Did you see that Matsuno says if Unicorn Overlord sells 1 million, he may sells 1 million. He may be hinting that would be a sign for Final Fantasy Tactics to be greenlit." They say that's how I interpreted what he said anyways.
So on okay, so I do have two things I wanted to bring up. One is of course a bunch of people bombarding Matsuno on FFT remaster, and he's like, basically he said, "Don't bother me, go bother Square Enix. Like I have absolutely no say in this whatsoever."
Yeah.
So I would,
And
I would
probably
be
also a
like-
little vote with your wallet.
Yeah, kind of. And in those tweets, he basically said that you guys should go play Unicorn Overlord. Like he flat out said, "Go play Unicorn Overlord and stop bothering me." Basically, he didn't say those exact words, but he did say like, "Go play Unicorn Overlord. Go play that game." If you're waiting for tactics, like you want the strategy, go play that one. That one's available and it's a great game. And
Go
it is.
show Square Enix
Yeah.
that this is the kind of game you want to play to increase your chances of getting able to play games like
FFT.
it. I mean,
So yeah, but I also I forgot what he said to someone. I think he told someone to calm down, which it doesn't have the same connotation in Japanese, and I'm sure he's not fluent in English. He probably like Google translated it. So, but just him, a fan just wrote something, and then he just wrote "calm down." And then like it's just I'm like, man, being told to calm down by
Never in the history of
Matsuno.
calm down has telling anyone to calm down ever successfully calmed them down.
I would frame that tweet. If Matsuno tells me to calm down, I'd be like, yes, sir, and I'll just save that forever. What a trophy, man. That's a trophy tweet right
God,
there.
that is incredible.
On related news that I think is pretty funny. So the Tekken creator, okay, has getting bombarded with tweets from people to tell him to add a certain American franchise as a backdrop for a new stage. Guess what they asked them to add in?
An American.
I don't know if you know about this. Yeah,
like a when you say franchise, like a food franchise,
like a KFC in the background, but not KFC.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fast. I don't want to say it's a fast, like family restaurant, maybe franchise.
Like a Red Lobster.
No.
A
Have you ever
Chili's,
heard? Have you
Applebee's?
ever heard of Waffle House?
Oh my God.
So you know about Waffle House, okay? So a bunch of U.S. fans kept tweeting at the Tekken creator that they want him to add Waffle House as a stage in Tekken 8. So much that he actually tweeted himself. He's like, okay, guys, you guys keep DMing me and telling me about Waffle House. Like, I don't understand. Like, why do you keep asking me? Because he does not know what Waffle House is or why it's funny. But he's like, okay, guys, why are you asking about Waffle House? And then like all the netizen like, explained it in the and he's like, I see. This is why you want, like in a separate like quote repost. He's like, I see. This is why you all are asking about Waffle House. And he gave like a super professional response to it too. He's like, well, I would love to add Waffle House. You will have to consider
the brand rights or whatever.
Yeah, you will have to consider the brand rights. And if Waffle House will not allow us to add this, then we simply cannot. I was like, oh my God, this guy's taking this so seriously. Like I find it so adoring that like he's just like clueless and then he's like cute and he's like, well, I see that this is a great idea. However, just love it. You guys have to go on Twitter and find this, okay? Like it's so hilarious, and I happened to catch it before like it made like a round in like the game news cycle, but I was laughing my butt off. But yeah, and then it got on the news. So I'm like, all right, this got big enough to cover. So there you go. Maybe in a bonus industry news for you all.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, guys, it has been fun catching up over these last 90 minutes. But I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Well, I guess it's a little more than 90. But anyways, we will be back next week if all goes according to plan with more hit points. So we'll see you then. Same hit point channel, same hit point time. Baku,
yes.
Any closing thoughts you'd like to leave with the people?
Don't believe anything anyone says for the next 3 hours. 2?
Depends where you are, I suppose.
Also, I am doing a 24 hours endurance stream right now.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, did I tell you about that, Derek?
No.
I've been streaming since 11 p.m. yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And, and I slept, I worked, I did all this thing. We're doing a podcast and the stream is still happening.
That's incredible. I love it. So I just want to let everybody know that also the podcast, everything that we talked about today was actually just, it was not real. It was a big April Fool's joke. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Goodbye.